how to say it, what I want you to take away from this, which is, trust me, if you feel like all your hard work, you moving in a certain direction, in a certain topic, whether it's relationships, money, health, relationships with friends, relationships with family, not just romantic relationships, any area of life, right? Your creativity, what you eat, like your nutrition. If you feel like you've been just throwing spaghetti at the wall for so long, I am telling you, I am here to tell you, you only can arrive at that thing from the very mere fact that you kept going. So I can maybe put it into simple terms. Hopefully a better example will come to me, but it's kind of like riding a bike, right? Like some kids, they get it immediately. Like they don't even need the training wheels right at the beginning for whatever reason, right? Some other kids will take 6 months to learn how to ride a bike. They'll fall. They'll be super scared about like the balance, like just even feeling the balance will freak them out, and they'll want to fall. They'll want to, either be too scared to keep going, whatever, right? And then finally, like randomly, they'll just get it. Like randomly, they'll just hop on and like start writing and it's like, why didn't you just do that 4 months ago? Like just how you did it now. There's nothing new, but it's almost like the fear, or like it was just you arrived at the time that you were supposed to do that very thing. So that's like the best example I can think of at the moment right now, is you just keep going in that direction. And when it's the right time, and there's reasons why there is a correct time for it. And I'm really learning that, like being closer than ever to the next decade of my life that starts with a 4. I've been able to really see the patterns of life. Of course, the patterns of life are seen a lot different from somebody that's like 80 or 90. But when you are headed toward the next decade of your life with the number 4, that starts with the number 4, it's like you've had enough time behind you to say, okay, you know what? Okay, I get it now. Okay, even though it's going on year 3, year 4, year 5, I remember feeling like that in this one season. All of a sudden, it just arrived for me, or it just happened, or it just clicked, or the money came, or the relationship came, or the job of my dreams came, or whatever the case is, right? So there's been some really, really amazing breakthroughs and things that have been going on in my personal life, and they are seeds. Woo! They are seeds that I planted 8, 9 years ago. 8 or 9 years ago. I literally like was talking about it with my mom, and we like calculated the time where I'm finally seeing the fruit of a decision that I made 8 or 9 years ago. And if I were to have quit, what I arrived to is so better than I expected, better than I thought, better. I couldn't have even created the thing that I'm talking about, which I may get into in this video or in another video. But I want to tell you, I know I'm not saying that it's going to take 8 or 9 years for you. I'm praying that it doesn't. I'm calling it on you. Like, it's not going to, whatever you're trying to arrive to in 2024, may you arrive to it in 2024. Also, if you are on this live so far, make sure to like the video. It really, really does. It's like a virtual donation. And I really appreciate it. And it does get my video and my content out to the very exact people that need to hear it from me, right? Like, we all hear things, like kind of the same things, like be healthy, be fit, be da-da-da. But sometimes you need to hear it from someone that either looks like you, or is from somewhere where you're from, or just sees life in the way that you do. So definitely make sure to like the video if you're watching this on the replay, and please subscribe. I literally look at my analytics all the time, and it's kind of amazing to me how I see tons of returning, like, non-subscribers, which is interesting. So if you're watching, just, it's okay. I forget too. Sometimes I come across people's pages, I'm like, that was a really good video, and I'll just literally forget. So I really appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. So again, also, if there's any questions, I believe I did see one come through, but let me just finish my thought on this really quickly before I look at that question. I'm just mind boggled. a decision that I made 8 to 9 years ago, I'm finally seeing the fruit of that decision. And I wanted to just give up so bad. I wanted to call it, like, just throw in the towel so bad. I wanted to just go back to my old ways. Basically, the fruit that or the seed that I planted was quitting with no, quitting my job of being a district manager, being a professional high level district manager, company car, company cell phone, company credit card. Obviously, you're in a higher level position. But me deciding to walk away from that, I had no idea where I was going to arrive to, right? Like, I just was trusting the nudges that I was feeling within from God. And that sounded crazy to other people. Like, it did. It sounded crazy. It sounded like, wow, she's just really, maybe she's tripping. Maybe she's going through like a little like crisis. Maybe she's, heard something and is overthinking it. Like, whatever people assumed or thought or were talking crap about. And it just didn't matter to me. That's how bad the nudge was. I was just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to arrive to. But like, I'm not supposed to be doing this right now. And the only way I can start to kind of figure out what I'm supposed to be doing for my passion, for my life's purpose, for my life's work, for my body of work that I want to start creating in this lifetime, like, the only way that I'm ever going to unlock the beginning of that is if I just take the leap. Like, that was what I was feeling. That's what my spirit was telling me. That's what God was telling me. And even people very, very, the closest people to me that really, really are like Team Ciana, they understood what I was talking about. Like, they were kind of nervous for me because, of course, out of like fear and love at the same time of like, okay, I really just I want to make sure she could pay her bills. Like, I want to make sure she has medical insurance. Like, why would she put herself in this position where she's like in a very safe, comfortable position? And I just was like, I can't, I literally am going to have a nervous breakdown. I cannot be in this structure anymore of like how the work system is. I'm not saying I'll never work. I'm not saying I want to just sit around and like eat bonbons, but like this is not it. So I took the leap and I did that 8 to 9 years ago. And the crazy amount of experiences, opportunities, people, learning experiences, epic experiences, weird experience, everything that came from the last 8 or 9 years, I've now arrived to the moment based on a couple things that have happened the last couple days. I've now arrived at a moment where I'm like, that was why I made that decision 8 to 9 years ago. I'm just now I'm living the discovery of that. And it's just so, it's like, what that tells me is that you only can arrive, and I'm going to read your question right now. You only can arrive when you keep going. Like, you really cannot ever know if you're going to arrive at that. So body of your dreams, relationship of your dreams, maybe, I don't know, you want to improve or get talented at something. Like, you're going to grow older anyway. Like, you're going to spend more years on the planet. You're going to age anyway. So why not just keep, like, even if it takes 15 years, like, you're going to be around for 15 more years plus more anyway. Like, the age I'm at, I had a birthday a couple weeks ago. I was going to turn that age no matter what. So, I could have felt like at the time, like, dang, it's going to take that long. I'm going to be old then. Or like, it's like, what's the point at that time? And now I'm here. I'm like, I feel like, I still feel like I'm 20. Like, I still have like the energy of a 25-year-old. I still have all this like radiance and vibrancy and like adventure and like life, So it's like, what if I just gave up and been like, you know what, forget it. Like, it's already too late. I already made the decision. I should have never like went down this path to begin with, but like, let me just stick it out because everyone's telling me it's the comfortable thing to do. Because it was rare for someone, first of all, being a brown girl, a black girl, right? Being black and Punjabi in more of a, let's just say a non-diverse environment, and the age I was at, it was very rare for someone like me to be in that position so quickly. So it was almost like, okay, Ciana, you already got lucky. So like this is it. Like, this is, you've arrived. And I was just like, what? Like, I feel like I went backwards. And that's crazy to think about, right? So I'm still like, God's still like, this is the tip of the iceberg. Like, you don't even know where this is going to like go. But all I have to say is that stay true to yourself. If you know you're supposed to go in a certain direction, or you're supposed to start a certain journey, or you're supposed to cut certain people off, or if you're supposed to maybe go on a fast from something, like a fast from eating something, a fast from drinking something, a fast from being sexually active, a fast from, I don't know, going out, like a fast, like if you just feel called or feel nudged, there's a huge breakthrough on the other side of that. And the breakthrough and the blessings that just flood through once you just literally are open to kind of walking in faith, it's like so unbelievable. And I literally looked at something I wrote, and I'll maybe share it one day. I'm not going to share it in this video, but I'll definitely, you're going to want to make sure to subscribe, because I may share it this year, but it's something I wrote. You know, on the iPhone, when you write in your notes, and I'm so mad because I actually wrote it 2 years prior to that. But like when I updated a couple words, what I should have did was I should have kept copying and pasting it to even show that I made like several drafts. But I literally created like 3 paragraphs and like just kept reading those paragraphs over and over of like dreams and desires and like goals that I had. And again, I'm like, I was always inching toward it, but I finally am now like, oh my gosh, I wrote that 10 years ago and I'm now seeing it better than I expected. And there's still more of it that hasn't come true yet. And it's so, I just want to let you know that do not lose hope. Do not lose the momentum. Do not lose that nudge, like that feeling that where you know that you're supposed to be doing something and you know it's the best for you. And it's not for everyone else to hear it. God told you, like, it's your nudging, it's your inspired action, it's your visions that you have. Like, if it was for everybody else, it would be on the big screen, it would be on a projector, it would be on a blimp, it would be, but it wasn't for everyone else, it's for you. Okay, so first question is, do we just pick something, or do you believe we're here to actually do something assigned to us? So I think that's a very layered question, but I think it's easier than the answer is easier than we think, in my opinion, and based on what I've experienced so far. I feel like all the answers are shown very clearly when you're a child. All of it. If you're artsy, if you love to build things, create things, if you love to be super active, if you're a quiet child and you like to be a hermit and read, like, I think all of the answers are when you're a child, when you're not so, filled up by all the, like, the world putting all these limitations on you. So it's funny because I was actually talking to my mom about this. The stuff that I'm doing now, I was doing as a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old. But I just was too nervous to actually step into that as an adult, because as an adult, you're told, go to college, at least my era, go to college, get a job. That's it. To be honest, what's weird, this is a whole nother video for a whole nother time. Women during, like, in the early 2000s, I never once heard anything on any movies, any commercials, any radio station, any TV channels, shows encouraging women to be married. It was literally like, you go to college, you go to work, you go to college, you go to work. So that's why there's like a lot of women that are like super single in the 30s too, by the way. Like, there was no influence of, like, if you're in America, let me know in the comments, because like what your experience was with that. But in my experience, in my realm, in the environment that I was in, it was just like hustle mode. It was like, you get good grades, you try to graduate with honors, and you go to work, and you keep going until you find a good job. And then when you get in that job, you hustle and you move up. Like, it was never like calm down, calm, tap into your creativity, tap into your passions, tap into your talents. Really, like, are you someone that wants to be married? Well, if you are, like, these are the things that you need to start working on with yourself to get ready for your wife, or ready for your husband. Like, so that's a whole nother conversation. That my channel is not really about relationships and stuff like that. There may be a calling to talk about stuff like that in the future, but that's not what this is about. So Just pick something, or we're actually supposed to do something. I think so. Again, like, I think that they're all in the things that people say, wow, you're really good at that. Wow, how'd you figure that out so quickly? Wow, you always just know how to do that. Like, or wow, you, when you're around people, you just make people feel like this. Like, that consistent stream of like compliments that you've gotten your whole life is the answer. Like, the answer lies like somewhere within that. So I definitely think that we were born to activate, and like, we all have a purpose, but I think that you can live that purpose through different colors, shapes, different dimensions, different expressions. Like, you could have a purpose for something but then express it through your cooking. You could have a purpose for something but then express it through your art. You could have a purpose for something but then express it through your 9 to 5. Um do you see what I'm saying? So like, for me, I know that every time I come in contact with people, they always walk away feeling expanded. That's just what I've been told. So like, it's not like I walk around saying, "Hey, I'll expand you," you know. But when people walk after they have a conversation with me, they're just like, "I just feel so much better," or "I don't know why I was telling you this, but I just feel like you're really listening and you're really hearing me, and I just feel better like after talking to you." That's why it is interesting too that I'm like starting a YouTube, because usually I'm more of a listener and then I give advice, but it's like opposite when I go on these lives, because I like start talking about something and then like I receive questions. But so that's very layered. Oh, and then the second part of your question was, or is it a free for all? Yes and no. That's a simple answer. That's very layered. Yes and no. It's really what you choose to do. I believe that we do have pillars that we arrive to. This is, I have no scientific proof for this or whatever. This is just my feeling based on my spiritual journey, my upbringing, my journey in life so far. I feel like that there's very important pinnacle moments that will not, it doesn't matter what happens, you will always arrive at those moments. So for example, like, let's just say you live to 100, right? And let's just say there's going to be pivotal moments at like age 25, age 38, age 52, and age 72. So like those are musts. Like, those are happening. Like, let's just say, let's just say you have children, right? And you specifically have to have those children with that person. Now, maybe arriving to that, meeting that person, you could have went a million different ways, but you still we're going to end up with that person, right? Or it could be with a career. Like, for example, like, there's people in my life where I'm like, it doesn't matter. I know, because they're still in my life after 20 years. Friends of my girlfriends of mine. Like, it doesn't matter how I met them. I was going to meet those women and they were going to be in my life. Like, so I believe that. And then I think that's where free will comes into play, right? So like, there's all these other avenues and different routes you can take. It's kind of like when you put in the GPS. You put in the GPS and you're going to the mall, but there's like technically 20 different ways you can get to the mall from like your house. You can go the scenic route. You can go scenic route number 2. You can go on the street. You can go on the freeway. You can go on freeway number 2. You can go up the mountain and go over. You can drive 30 minutes out of the way to stop somewhere else and go, like, but you were always going to end up at the mall. That's what I feel like it's like. Like, there is destination spots that just have to happen, but then there's free will on, like, based on our yeses and nos. You accumulate and collect different experiences, but then you still arrive at that same place, right? So, like, for example, I'll say this, like, I was born in LA, and then a huge earthquake happened and I was raised in Sacramento. No matter what, it doesn't matter, like, maybe a couple years later, a couple years before, I was always going to circle back and live back in LA. I've been living in LA pretty much my entire adult life, but like my junior high and teenage years, I was in Sacramento. But no matter what, I was going to circle back, right? So I could have maybe, like, I went to Fresno State for college, but maybe I could have went to the East Coast for college. But like, I would have ended up in LA, right? Or I could have went overseas for college, like lived internationally, like in Europe or something. But then I would have ended up back in LA, right? So it doesn't matter like which way. So that's my take on it. Who knows? But that's my take. That's what makes it feels good to me when I think about life that way. I think that's where things, you know, where people are like, well, how do we have free will and destiny? I feel like that's like the dance between destiny and free will is like how I kind of just explained it, which I probably will get better at explaining that as time goes on. But okay, next one. It says, do you feel that eventually you would have gotten fired or performance managed yourself out of the job because your higher self knew that your soul wanted to go in a new direction? Absolutely. It's a great question. Absolutely. I know for a fact one of the two would have happened. And that's why I quit, because we all have pride, you know, at the end of the day. So I didn't want to quit and then have people, I didn't want to like start sucking at my job. And then people be like, oh, well, you know, Ciana just sucked. So that's why, right? No. So I actually, what I did, this was crazy. And I'm so happy I did this route. I was like, okay, let me really strategically think about this. I actually went out on a high note, so much to the point where still people from that job 10 years later are like, if you ever want to come back, you can. Or people will be like, you changed my life when I worked with you. And that was 10 years ago. Like I was in my like early 20s. Like people will hit me up from my early 20s when I worked at this company and be like, I was so inspired by you. And I'm like, so when on my way out, I actually hit my numbers better than ever. I actually promoted more people from under me. Like it was actually, you know, when you're a district manager, if you're able to promote people from under you into bigger positions, that means you have great management skills. So I promoted a bunch of people. I got offered a promotion. Like I got offered a bigger district. So I chose the high note because I was like, well, my integrity is really important to me. And just for myself, like, why would I work all the way up to then unravel? And then that's how I would be remembered. And that's how I would remember myself, which was like, and then I felt, number really, so it was me, but then kind of equally was that I also took into account that people under me loved the job. So I was like, okay, I can't pull them down because this is not my path. So let me do this with integrity and you know what I did too? I gave them all the juice. I gave them all the secrets. I was like, okay, look. And they were like, I know they probably were like, dang, Sienna's being super nice. And she's like giving us all the answers. I was like, look, write this down. When you see upper level management, you do this. When you are going to have a visit, you do this. When I come in the store, the answers I want to hear from you are this. Da, 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 da. And if you say these answers and you say them to anyone just like this, you're going to get promoted. Like, and there's someone that used to work under me and he did that. And people were literally blown away by him. They're like, what the hell? Like, they're like, Sienna was training like that. But I knew I was going to leave, and I just kind of gave away all the answers to like being able to like learn how to get promoted based on what I had learned instead of having them learn the hard way, which makes you a better manager at the end of the day, because you learn and you know you continue to expand and grow when you mess up and you do better next time, right? But I was like, I'm leaving, so that's my gift to everybody. So I definitely feel like what I think, okay, this is a good question. If I were to guess, right, just for fun, like if we were playing a game, just for fun, if I were to guess what would have happened if I was too scared to quit, I think I would have had a nervous breakdown. Like, I don't think I would have started like sucking or like being bad at the job, like, or gotten fired, because I was with my strict Indian father and my very, very strict mother too at the time. Like I would have had too much like shame to get fired. Like that, it would have been like, what was all of their hard work to pour into me, pay for college? You know what I'm saying? All my teachings, like it would have, so I think I had my mom and my dad in mind in that department, like, and it always still hovers behind me, you know, in a good way. Like it makes you like, keeps me accountable. But I think I would have just had I would have been just trying to hold it together, and then I would have just like started glitching, and I would have just had a nervous breakdown. So that's my prediction on that. So thank God that did not happen. I was maybe about 6 months away from that moment. I probably had about 6 months to where I would have been like, I gotta go on like what is it called? A lot of people used to do this at this old job too. medical leaves. They would go on medical leaves and collect a check. I was about 6 months away from that, but I was like, no, I ain't trying to go out like that. Like, I don't want, that's not me. That's not my style. And I don't want people to remember me like that either. So, and we kind of live in a world now where, like, I mean, I guess you could technically never see someone again if you like really went out of your way to block people, but because of social media, it's not like, okay, well, I'm going to leave that life behind. Like, because of social media, everyone has access to everybody in some kind of way, unless you really bury yourself and hide yourself and you like are not on any kind of social media, like not even LinkedIn. So I just wanted to leave on high integrity for myself. Also too, I'm happy to answer any other questions or anything like that before I go in a couple minutes. Because the sun's starting to set, and this park closes when the sun starts to set. Also too, if you're coming in, make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe if you're stumbling upon this live with me. And also, okay, I have these super dope headsets that I'm giving away for free. I'm giving away just because I want to say thank you. So obviously they're not these exact ones. These are the ones I use, but they're all packaged up and completely brand new. Box has not been opened. I'm giving away two. One is like this one, and then one is like this. Okay, so one is like this one. These are my favorite. I can't lie, because they have the breathable headset. But then I'm also giving away ones that look like these, that have the earbud on it, or the earplug. Okay. Oh, it's like syncing up. So I'm giving these away for free as a gift to two of my lucky subscribers. All you have to do, I'm gonna do it for about 2 weeks. All you have to do is comment on my most recent post, and just like comment anything positive, something that you're doing in your life. Just say hi, do a positive emoji. You just have to comment, and based like in my analytics on my end, I can see what subscribers are really active. So you just have to be active on my page. Just, you can not like the video, you have to comment. You have to comment something, an emoji, something, that a goal that you have for 2024. It doesn't really matter, whatever's on your heart, but I want to see you being active on my page. And then I'm just gonna announce it on my community tab, and probably announce it on a live, like, hey, so and so subscriber, please send me your email. And I'll have my email. It actually is in all my descriptions in every single video. My email's there. It's embodypursuit. So you know how my profile name is CianaSingh embodypursuit? It's embodypursuit@gmail.com. But I'll also like announce that and make it very clear with the directions. But you'll just email me your address, and you don't have to pay for the shipping. I'm going to pay for the shipping. You're just going to get gifted some really dope headsets, and they're both the color black. Okay. So I use these every day. I talk about these all the time. If somebody wants these in general, you can find them on my TikTok showcase. If you go to my TikTok, it's in the showcase. You just type in Lenovo, and then you'll see this shape. There's like no other shape like it. I haven't seen headsets like this. Someone was like, it looks like a yo-yo. I kind of agree. I don't even think that kids these days know what a yo-yo is. Do kids know what a yo-yo is these days? I have not seen anyone use a yo-yo. I don't, like, in the last 10 years. I'm not even kidding. So it made me kind of want to just get one, just to like have it as an artifact or something. Do they even make them anymore? But that was our scrolling. It was just like doing the yo-yo before we were doing this with our finger, with our thumb. So, okay, so that's an announcement on that. So just make sure you're active, make sure to comment, make sure to do an emoji. But any questions before I head out? But, you know, as I'm just getting last questions, don't stop. Don't stop. Follow the nudge. Don't give a F about what anyone else is telling you. Of course, be smart. Of course, be resourceful. Of course, think it through. Have a strategy. Have a game plan. I had a game plan. I didn't just quit willy-nilly. I made a decision to quit 6 months into the future. And I had a game plan that I stuck to every single month to like save up the correct amount of money that I wanted to save up. Like, I set myself up for success. So don't be, and I'm not saying you may want to quit your job, but like, you can do this with anything, right? Like, if you want to improve as a person, or you want to start a business, like there's a strategy, but don't stop. Even if it feels like your wheels are turning, even if it feels like you're going backwards, like it may mean you just need to reroute, but like just keep going. Like, you know, when they say like it's kind of like this is how it is, like a if you like do stocks, like I love looking at the stock market, it really is like this, like, and then sometimes it dips lower than ever and then it just like trickles back up high. That's really how life is. I feel like life is trying to find harmony. And the closer that you get to yourself, the closer that you tap into your most authentic self, the more you listen to like the soft whispers that are like within, whether, you know, whatever you believe in, whether it's God's Holy Spirit, you know, your higher self, whatever it is, or just yourself, if you're more of a practical thinker, follow that. And the closer that you get to that, I feel like this, like the disharmony, it starts to become more in harmony. Now, remember, harmony doesn't mean perfectly balanced. So there is that, but harmony has like, it's like, you know how songs look like when it's written out, like the songs, I don't even know what it's called, but like, you know, like the song notes, like sometimes it'll be like some of the song notes are higher and some of them are really low and some of them go in the middle and then it goes low again and then it goes high. Like it's hard, like it's like that. It's not like this perfect, you know, measurement up and down. So that's, get more into harmony and balance. There's definitely balance in life too, but get more into harmony. Like kind of like, this is a really weird example, but I'm just going to say it. It's like when you see a beautiful woman, right? And you look at her and maybe like she doesn't have like the big hips and like maybe she's like super thin, but she has like an average looking butt, and you know, her hair is really beautiful and it fits her. Her eyes are really beautiful and it fits her, but they're not like industry standard beauty, but like on her, like the way that she looks like it's almost like she is in harmony, right? It's like that. Like even though she doesn't have like the industry standard boobs, the industry standard waistline, the industry standard hips and butt and thighs, like an industry standard face, but like on her, she just looks like she's a very beautiful woman because she just looks harmonious for how her DNA fell together. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that makes sense on what I mean. Um, yeah, I hope that makes sense on what I mean with that. But yeah, harmony, you want to get into harmony by getting close to yourself as possible. And that's hard to do because social media, people's opinions, our own self-sabotage, mainly it's number one, mostly our own self-sabotage. So that's really it. So I don't see any other questions go through. Maybe I missed one. Right, haven't seen a yo-yo in years, right? Like someone needs to like, how would we even digitize that? Like, because I don't even know, like there was something that I tried to show one of the children in the family and they were just so uninterested because it wasn't techie. So like a yo-yo would have to be techie somehow. Like it would have to like have a hologram in it or like be able to scroll or like have a screen on it. Like I don't know, but someone needs to invent something. I don't know, maybe we might together come up with something. I don't know. All right, guys, well, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like. I hope this message hit somebody. It just was on my heart to just say, keep going. I promise you, it took me 8 years, 9 years to arrive at a moment that I planted a seed. I sowed a seed 8, 9 years ago, and I'm barely seeing the fruit, but the fruit is so yummy and delicious and multi-dimensional and better than I could have ever expected. And just now that I look backwards and I see how all the dots connected, I'm just like, wow, I couldn't have predicted that, because some of the things that happened to make me arrive where I'm at, it didn't exist yet. Like the technology didn't exist. So I couldn't have even thought about it because the technology didn't exist. So I'll tell you guys about it in another video. But just know that it was all worth it. The confusion, the being unsure, but then still, like, you can be unsure about yourself, but then still go with the nudge. Like all that, like disharmony, but still just like going with like what my heart was telling me to do, it is beyond worth it. And now I'm feeling like I'm barely just seeing it. I'm barely just seeing what's to come. So yeah, have a beautiful day, you guys. Have a beautiful evening. I'm gonna continue to watch the sunset, and then I'm gonna go to the gym. All right. That's it. Have a beautiful day. Bye.